The Kellen and Alex Show.
0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
But a good response.
Right.
Like if a girl broke up with me and she started doing like satanic stuff and all that kind of crap.
Wow.
No, but I'm telling you,
Nice.
I've had friends that have experienced that.
Dang.
And like,
Dude, California.
you don't want to obviously spend time with those people because that's not a good thing. But it's important for you to forgive them. Like to say, okay, I'm sorry for what you're doing.
But the greatest love sometimes means
right.
distance.
She broke up with you and got into Satanism. It's like,
Seriously.
No, because she was doing it already. Okay, she was.
Okay.
If she was doing it
wow.
already.
Anyways.
No, this
all right,
is
I'm going to just
theoretical.
hop in
This is
and
just
say,
theoretical.
okay,
Yeah.
to bring
But
us
forgiveness
to...
is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Make sure you have forgiveness
Loving-
in your heart to those
So
people.
out of the millions of people who listen to this, there are a number of freshmen who are in freshman fall relationships. What do us enlightened fellows and lasses are going to... What do we say to the
Don't date.
Franciscan
Be your own-
freshmen
be
in
your own
fall?
damn
Don't date.
person
Who are...
first.
Wait. Let me put it
gosh.
this way. Who are in a relationship now, who met and who think, how do we... Us enlightened fellows.
Wait. So clarification.
How do we help them navigate?
Clarification.
Please.
So one, if they're freshmen and they're single and they're ready to mingle, or two, if they have like the classic like dated since like I don't know junior year of high school and are dating into freshman fall. Like which question are we asking? Like
Any of it. There's a lot
okay.
of freshmen out there, yeah.
yeah.
Probably primarily more towards people that aren't coming into the university with a relationship. I think
Yeah.
more like people that are starting fresh.
People who met here who are now dating who are freshmen, who are navigating freshman year of college, which is already a very tumultuous time where you're having to figure out how to deal with classes, how to deal with studying, how to deal with like Franciscan for the first time, and you think, hey, let's add to that list and have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Don't date. Don't date. Don't date.
I don't recommend
Don't
for the
date.
first year.
Throw it to Maria for that.
If you're not dating someone, I would strongly recommend that you wait. If you are, I think that it's important to understand that so many things you're learning so many things. You're not developed yet. You're just a freshman.
You're just a fish.
You're
Just
fresh,
flopping
dude.
around.
Yeah.
You're fresh.
Take that into consideration and give each other the necessary space. Like, don't take yourselves too seriously and like let the relationship breathe, let yourselves grow, like, and see if it works out. I just think that like in general, a lot depends on just like how you approach the relationship and what you expect from it. If you're like, no, we're going to get married and we met yesterday and we're dating now. And I asked her out the night I met her, it's like, well,
Dude, just
So
Like,
making
just
out in the
breathe.
common rooms.
Oh
is
my
not-
God.
Oh my gosh.
don't do that.
Okay.
dude,
actually-
worse.
I was listening to that whole
Dude, it was so bad.
making out in the common room on top of each other.
Yeah.
No, I actually encountered that,
Don't do
and I
that.
was scarred for
Don't do
life.
that.
It's crazy. Actually,
That's wrong.
If you come across that, you just open the door and, what's going on in here?
Yeah,
Stop this unholiness.
yeah. No, I completely agree with Maria, and I'm just gonna, as I usually do, just make it even more radical of a statement because I think she has a lot of truth to say, but I do not think there are any I'm just gonna say it, any like circumstances or exceptions to dating freshman year.
Yeah, man. But I mean, I got out in 2013 and it's 2020. That's 7 years ago. So it's already been twice the amount of time that I was in that I've been out. And it's still one of the most vivid times in my life that sticks out a lot.
And you
more.
have people trying to kill you every day.
And honestly, it's very liberating. It's so freeing. You're so much happier. Seriously, because it's, what's that Shakespeare? We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. And then, it's just something about living in one. I think it's what the saints are talking about, where you're just constantly living in one almost moment that's shared in like the eternity of God, where God is in all of eternity and you are sharing in that because you are existing in your now. And it's nothing else but now, And,
Dude, blowing my mind. Wait a second. Steve, you just said it's so liberating, that experience of being with those guys and having people like trying to kill you and you have a mission to do. That's a liberating thing you're saying.
There's a reason why guys will basically abandon their families and just constantly go to war, because it's a lot easier in many ways to go out and survive every day like our ancestors did than it is to go out and live every day for somebody else, paying taxes, going through the motions, doing mediocre things. Not that there's anything wrong. I mean, this is what most people live through. And there's so many challenges and hurdles and drama and theatrics that go through every single moment of every single person's life. But I'm just saying, it's just liberating to be like, I don't care about my, whose birthday it is tomorrow back home. I don't care if I didn't, do this certain assignment. I just care, is my rifle clean? Are my guys okay? Are we going to make it back from patrol? Did we today? Cool. Let's relax. Hard day's work, done. And what are you thinking about? Tomorrow. You're not thinking way in the future. And so when you get home and you're out and you're 22 and this whole time you've just been like, now. And then it's like, okay, buddy, here you go. Here's the rest of your life. Do whatever you want with it. You're like, I don't even know. I haven't known what to do with my day, And so it's hard. I think it was really my faith, just being Catholic and I know this isn't an advertisement for the Catholic faith, but for me, it really has been just this almost equally liberating, and that's what I'm saying with, I forget if it was Saint Faustina. Is she the one who painted the image of divine mercy?
Yeah, that's her.
And she was talking about that, how like, I want to live in my now like you live in your now, So I'm paraphrasing and I probably butchered it. Sorry, Saint Faustina, forgive me, pray for me. But that's really how it felt. And I've met other veterans. I met a Vietnam guy. Actually, it was somebody in the RCIA. And he was like, can anybody remember the happiest they've been in their entire life? And I was like, yeah, when I was in Afghanistan. And he's like, no kidding. Mine was when I was in Vietnam. And it's...
Wow.
So
that's so wild. From like a civilian perspective, most people are like, that must be the most, hellish experience. Like, it must be terrible.
The reason why I say abortion is this fundamental issue is because it exposes a conflict in those rights. So the child's right to life conflicts directly with the mother's right to her own body and to do whatever she wants with it, right? Mm-hmm. And so how do you solve that dilemma? And so this is the reason why liberalism as an ideology doesn't have a place for children, because children are dependent, and liberalism is based upon the premise that all human beings are self-interested, autonomous, rational actors who are capable of equal interactions with each other on equal ground. And this is where they negotiate their relative rights and make deals. And so children are a problem. And
any inequality.
Any real inequality. Children just expose that inequality on a massive scale because they're so helpless, right? Yeah. They can't make a deal with anyone. They'll just die, right? And so you have to deal with that problem. And what abortion does is deal with it, because and now when parents decide to keep a child, that child has not been imposed upon them. They have made a deal, essentially. They've chosen to now care for the child. And in the same sort of way that you can choose to enter into a contract and then the state will compel you to keep it, right? Because that's one of the underpinnings of liberalism.
Like the contract starts at a certain trimester, right?
Yeah,
then,
now
depending on the
if
state,
you choose to have the baby when you have the option not to, right? Mm-hmm. So it's voluntary now. So you've entered into a voluntary agreement. Now it's coherent within liberalism for the state to say, now you must care for the child.
And right? If you don't, we'll step in
because it's basically a contract that you've made.
Right.
But they have to have that out, right? There has to be the out. There has to be the option to not make the contract. It has to be voluntary, and that's the function.
That's
of
the
abortion.
right to the body. Is
right.
I don't want to have to raise this child.
Therefore, I want it off my body. I own my body. It's a trespasser.
Yeah, and you can't force me into this contract.
You can't force me into the contract.
Or you're going to force me to have this child and have to raise it, and that's kind of the.
And the premise of liberalism is that all human interaction is contractual, right? And so you can't do that.
Even marriage, even the family, even raising
the
kids.
And it's all about negotiating rights. And so here's a conflict of rights. Well, who owns what? I own my body. Get off my property.
And to a certain extent, we just mean by rights what Hobbes means, which would just be desires, individual desires, to a certain extent. Correct? Or how are you using the term?
I think that. Hobbes is more penetrating than most liberals, but in most liberal thought, its rights are just the way that, the way in which the political power sort of carves out the space for individual action,